What's going on, everybody? This is Dale from Upstate Bets and DFS. I'm here with my partner Riaz, bringing you guys this 9-game slate on a Friday. I'm getting this video out a little bit later today. Some of the lines started dropping later in the day. But here we are. This is going to be a quicker video, just like our last one. So we're just going to kind of run through some picks here. Thank you guys for joining us. If you haven't joined us before, this is your first time watching us, you can sign up using promo code UPSTATE on PrizePicks. PrizePicks is a super simple daily fantasy sports app. You can mix and match sports. Last night they were running a promotion where if you mixed NBA with NFL, you get 4 times your money just on 2 players. So they do all kinds of promotions. They're super involved. The customer support has been awesome too, honestly. Like, that's been a highlight that I haven't even talked about really. But they've been great. So let's take someone like Andrew Wiggins tonight. No Steph Curry, so his points are up a little bit tonight. But so you can look at the over-under. You can take the over or the under on that. You can string some together, 5x, 10x, a bunch of different ways to play. They got a bunch of different categories. So we're gonna kick this video off. We usually go points, rebounds, assists, 3-pointers, and hop into fantasy score. But we're gonna be bouncing around today. Like I said, it's gonna be a little bit quicker of a video. And Riaz is gonna start for us.
Yeah, I'm going to rattle off a couple picks that I like. I'm not going to try to go too quick. I want to give you guys the information and why I like these guys. But the first person I'm going to start off with is Gordon Hayward. His points are back down to 14 and a half. I really like that spot. His last 2 games have been looking pretty iffy. Golden State, we know that was a blowout. He only scored 10, and then Washington, he only put up 8. So I really like the bounce back game against Indiana. I think this is going to be a very close game. Really like this game for him, and we know just the ability of him, just as a shooter, that he's going to get there without a doubt. Make a bunch of threes. We know his mid range is awesome, and the way LaMelo Ball has been passing the ball so far this year, he's going to look for Gordon Hayward. And then obviously I like Mo Bamba and Wendell Carter Jr. against Brooklyn. More Mo Bamba just because there is a blowout factor here, and we see Wendell Carter Jr. just continue to get into foul trouble, but he does get the points that we're looking for. But definitely love both of those guys, Mo Bamba a little bit more. To jump over to rebounds, I like 2 guys in this category. The first guy I want to talk about is Sadiq Bey. Love targeting just guys who crash the boards against Golden State. With Steph Curry being out, it doesn't really affect much. It's not that Steph Curry grabs a bunch of boards, but he does shoot a bunch of shots. He has been making a lot this year, but regardless, I think with Steph Curry being out, this game stays closer. Sadiq Bey is going to get a bunch of run, and we've seen him grab a lot of boards this year. This is sitting at his average at 5.5. So as of late, he has been grabbing to seven to 8 boards. So I like that line at 5.5. And then the last guy for rebounds I like is once again Mo Bamba. I mean, 7.5. He grabs so many boards. We know Wendell Carter Jr. grabs a little bit more than him, but as of late, Mo Bamba's been grabbing a ton of rebounds, which has just been unbelievable. Ooh, sorry about that. And then I also like Brandon Ingram sitting at 4.5. We know he grabs around 5 to 6 boards. I really like the line at 4. And then the last category I want to talk about is assists. I have 2 guys here. I don't mind LaMelo. He's not one of the guys that I'm targeting, but he does rack up a ton of assists. So 6.5 is definitely a line that I am intrigued by. But to keep it in the same game, I really like Brogdon. We've seen his assists go down as of late, so his line's not sitting there at 6.5 or 6. I like it at 5. Like I touched on earlier, he is going to get a bunch of run. This game's going to be pretty competitive, so I think that 5.5 is really obtainable, and I think it's just going to be a great game all around. And then, of course, I'm back on Cole Anthony. If you just look at his last 3 games, 7, 11, and 8 for assists, it is just unbelievable. The fact that his line is still sitting at 4 is just way too low, in my opinion. And actually, I want to talk about one more person in fantasy score, and that is Chris Middleton. We snagged him low at 22. Unbelievable that he was there. He ended up putting up 35 fantasy points, but he's back here at 29 and a half. He's a 35 guy every single night, so he's going to smash this without a doubt.
Yeah, I love a lot of those picks, man. I was on LaMelo too for the assist tonight. He's just one of those guys. Pretty much like a Steph Curry in the 3 point category, like a Luka in the points, just like stays consistent around that number. So it's never a tough fade really. It's always just like he's just there. He has any given night he can get there. But solid picks. Gordon Hayward should bounce back tonight against Indiana. Should be a solid game. Should stay pretty close. Bamba, we're always on him. Bay's a little bit. I'm never really on him too much, but the way he's been hitting these lines, he's a little bit back and forth. But tonight, this is an awesome spot that he can get there as well. So I don't mind Bay at all in that game, especially with no Curry. Maybe the game does stay a little bit more competitive. So who knows? We'll see if that. I'm not too scared of a blowout tonight, so it should stay competitive without Curry. And then Ingram, I'm on him in another prop too, but I don't mind any of Ingram's props tonight at all. So solid picks, and then I'll dive into fantasy score at the end. But for me, I got a couple guys here. Some of these Warriors guys, they're a little bit too iffy for me because I know some of the lines shifted. Poole was at like 14.5 points this morning before Curry was listed as out. So there was a couple that you could have got a solid snag on. One of the guys that was a really solid snag was James Harden, but I'm still on him here with no Kevin Durant tonight. Um, Orlando, they've played competitive in a couple games. Obviously, they're young and they're rebuilding, but they've been competitive in a few games. And I think with no Kevin Durant, this allows a spot for Harden to just absolutely go off. So we obviously there was the things with the whole free throw thing. He wasn't getting to the line, but he's been getting to the line a lot lately. Like he's shooting double-digit free throws in the last two games. He's went for 24 and then 27 and then 39 against the Pelicans. And this is with Durant in the lineup. And you can just kind of see how the offense goes. They give the ball to Durant. Durant does his thing one possession. They give the ball to Harden. Harden does his thing one possession. Harden, handles the ball a lot more in the offense, but it's kind of just a back and forth between these two. And now with no Durant, we're going to see some like Rockets type usage, I hope, tonight out of James Harden. So really like him in the points. It does seem high, especially from his last, from like his pretty much his whole entire season. But I still think he's in a solid spot with no Durant, and it could burn me. But we'll see how the offense goes with him. Carrying it. We know what kind of scorer he is. You scroll down a little bit. Another guy I'm on is Lou Dort. Playing Milwaukee, a little bit tougher of a matchup, but they need to hit threes to stay competitive, and that's what Dort does, man. Shoots a bunch of threes. He's been shooting the ball lights out lately. His 3 point prop is at 2. It's pretty solid. But last game he shot 11 3-pointers and then 8 the game before that. So he started off the season very slow and honestly very cold. But 22 shots last game. You love to see that. He's been scoring the ball amazing from not only just from deep but mid range and getting to the hole. Not a guy that's going to shoot a ton of free throws, but either way, I think if you can get like 4 3-pointers down tonight, I think this is a spot where Lou Dort definitely could smash. Hopefully the game doesn't just absolutely blow out because there is that factor. But like I said, they need to hit threes to stay competitive tonight. And Dort is definitely the guy that can catch fire from deep on this team. And then if you scroll down, a couple just crappy plays last night on Twitter, man. Siakam just had an awful game against Utah. Like literally like I don't know, and his average actually goes up from last night. So yeah, definitely not going to be going there. And then we got this back-to-back game here at the bottom against the Suns and the Mavericks. They played last night. We saw Porzingis have a pretty decent game. I think I'm fine if you guys want to go back there tonight. Obviously with no Luka, he is questionable, but I do think Luka's going to sit tonight again. But that's just my opinion. Be aware of that. Obviously I'm not working for the Mavericks organization, so I don't know what's going on over there, but be wary of Porzingis tonight if Luka sits again because his usage goes up. The rest of the guys really no interest in. Paul had a bad game. Booker always stays around that number, but he got over that last night. So I don't know. There's a couple guys that look intriguing there, but I'm not going to go to any of them. When I go over to rebounds, I like the Bay pick honestly too. As you scroll down, there's a couple guys. The Bamba looks really intriguing in that spot as well, and I like Ingram. So Riaz really covered a lot of these guys that I'm on. I think all the way at the bottom. If you want to talk about the bunch in that back-to-back game again, Porzingis is the guy that sticks out the most to me, and honestly, Brunson too. Really, he grabs a ton of boards when Luka's not in. I know we have such a small sample size with Luka being hurt, but Brunson's definitely a guy that grabs a bunch of boards because Luka is a great rebounding guard, obviously. And Brunson kind of fills in that role perfectly. He's like the perfect 1B to Luka. So honestly, I'm curious to see what his fantasy score is at. But Brunson's in a solid spot as a guard here to get 4.5 rebounds. And then we go over to assists. I talked LaMelo already. Some guys like Cade Cunningham, we know his playmaking ability. He's pretty low. So I really like him tonight at 3.5. And then It's a little bit shallow. Like I said, Brunson's just a solid guard, a great facilitator. Honestly, he's like that nickel double, almost triple double kind of guy. I'm not gonna give him that, that kind of title yet, but when he plays his role nice. Other than that, like Dort just gets a lot of run. So as someone at 1.5 at the shooting guard position, I mean that's a solid spot for 1.5 as well. And then 3 pointers made. Riaz, was there anyone in 3 pointers made that you were really on tonight?
I really wasn't on anybody, but obviously Cole Anthony. Besides his last game, it was just tough shooting 1 for 9. I expect a bounce back, and definitely Dort at 2. I mean, you touched on him for the points. I mean, he has been smashing. I mean, the last like 7 games, he's averaging over 20 points. Back-to-back games, making four threes against Houston and Miami, and then even before that, he made three, two, and two. So it seems to me that Lou Dort is just on a stretch of scoring the ball
Yeah, we like
unbelievably.
targeting these guys at like a half. Joe Val, he's here at a half again. Is that somewhere you're looking tonight, or you're kind of off him?
I was on him for a while. I'm kind of fading him a little bit. Now that Ingram is back, um, I don't really see Joe Val going out and stretching the floor and just shooting the threes that he was. So I'm gonna fade this one tonight. It'll probably come back and bite me, but
For three
that's
pointers
okay.
made, really, I'm only on Cole Anthony here. I'm going back to the well, man. We're on him just about every night. For good reason. The last time he played Brooklyn, bad game, I get it. And then last time, 1 for 9 against the Knicks. So it's just tough to see. Obviously, he's been playing well in pretty much every other statistic, really. But you're gonna have an off night. He's a younger guy. I'm confident going back to Cole Anthony tonight at 2. We had a couple pushes last night. Let's hope we don't just like ride this push train, with Beal and Morant last night. But two guys in two solid spots. So what can you say? You see these matchups, you play the matchups. Sometimes they don't hit, and nothing's guaranteed, obviously in DFS. So it's just tough. So those are my couple guys. I highlighted Harden, Dort, and Anthony here, and I'll jump over to fantasy score. This is with the category where there's just usually a bunch of guys. I think mostly I'm on Jalen Brunson here at 34. I know it seems a little bit high, but they're going back to back against these guys, and I like Brunson here just from the usage. Porzingis had a fucking awesome game last night too, and he's been smashing. I'm on him as well. Him and Brunson look like they're in great spots tonight. And then monitor the Jokic news, man. Jokic is questionable. I don't know if he's gonna sit, but they just lost to Philly, and they're playing Chicago tonight. He could sit, but this is a little bit bigger of a game. I know Chicago's been playing well this season, but if he does decide to sit, Will Barton's line's probably gonna shift. He's been playing amazing, so look at Will Barton too if Jokic sits.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely got to take advantage of the news. Um, with the lines switching and everything. I grabbed Sadiq Bey on fantasy score early this morning. He was at 24 and a half. And with the Curry news, he jumped up to 28. So you definitely got to take advantage and look at the slate early.
Yeah, and like I said, we dropped a line on Twitter last night. It wasn't perfect. I get it, and it's just things like that happen. We can't, I'd be a millionaire if I was just hitting every night. So, um, unfortunately, things don't swing your way some nights, but all we can do is provide the information, you guys, and hopefully you could take a little bit of knowledge of your own. You could take some of our information. Hopefully, you guys can win some cash tonight. That's the main goal here. We want you guys to have fun, be responsible. Obviously, it is gambling, so hopefully. You're not throwing everything on these picks, but not we haven't had some solid plays. Just got to put them in the right powers and the right flexes. So we talk about a lot of guys over here. So we hope you liked the video. A little bit shorter today. We'll be back on it for NFL tonight if you want to go check that out. We've been pretty hot on NFL lately, so I really like NFL. There's some really nice lines and some nice games this weekend, and then we'll be back for NBA Saturday. We take Sundays off. We'll be back Monday. So this is my power play here. I got Harden, Dort, Anthony, Middleton, over. I'm gonna plug that in tonight. Hopefully you guys win some cash, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.